Welcome to That Don't Sound Right. That Don't Sound Right is a podcast about talking the way we did before the internet, when you couldn't prove anyone right or wrong.
All the expertise was contained in the people involved with the conversation. I'm Peter.
And I'm Cecil. And we hope you enjoy our conversations. And as you listen, if you find yourself silently saying, "That don't sound right," leave us a comment. You're one of us. Enjoy the show.
Hey, Camille.
Hey, Dad.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Do you know what the podcast is about tonight?
No, sir, I do not. What is it about?
It is about where does the rubber on a tire go when you drive?
Oof, that don't sound right.
I agree.
Enjoy the show.
Thanks.
Hello, everyone. This is That Don't Sound Right podcast on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I'm Peter.
And Google Play now.
No kidding.
Yep.
And who are you?
And I'm Cecil.
All right.
Welcome to That Don't Sound Right. Yeah, man, we're on all the big platforms now. So it's much easier to find us. So welcome back for this week. Want to go ahead and thank our listener in Canada again.
Hey, thanks again. Spread the word.
We'll do our weekly rundown of just the TDSR ecosystem. Remember, we've got you on the Gmail now, TDSR Podcast Gmail. We've got you on Instagram, TDSR Podcast at Instagram. We have the podcast, and we have the store, which we leave the links to in the show notes. So welcome back.
Yes. Hey, a quick shout out. Speaking of the store, a quick shout out to my daughter, Emily, who made all of the graphics for our podcast, the logos and the text. And we'll be working on some more variations of the logo to put on shirts and socks and maybe even a ball cap.
We will keep the products fresh. We'll have new products coming in.
Keep it moving.
Yep. So you got a topic for us this week.
Yes. So it's interesting. I was shopping for tires the other day.
Yes.
Car tires, right?
Right.
My car tires are wearing out. Car tires always wear out. But then it got me to thinking, Cecil, where does all this rubber go? I mean, Think about it. You've got a tire, and it loses about 4 or 5, 30 seconds, so almost 1/8 of an inch, maybe even what else? Maybe 3/16 of an inch of rubber. Okay,
Right.
That rubber has to go somewhere, and you've got 4 tires, and you've got millions of cars on the road, all wearing out their tires.
Right.
So this rubber, I would think you'd see it laying other way. I mean, it's got to go someplace. It either turns into a gas, or it turns into a particle.
Right.
And I mean, by now, I would think on well-traveled roads, you're driving along, you should see piles of black dust, or at least as you're driving,
Yeah.
black dust is being kicked up. You know, on racetracks,
Yeah.
you can see the rubber particles on the road.
Yep.
Sometimes when the tires spin, it gets hot and turns it into smoke. So I understand, okay, you've converted that rubber into heat.
Right.
And into smoke particles, so it's floating out there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're not doing burnout, so we're not burning the rubber.
Right.
And it's just very perplexing to me. Where does all this rubber go? Here's the other thing. Rubber should float.
Yes.
Its density is pretty low.
Yes.
So it should float on water.
Right.
There should be a black scum on every pond and every river because all this rubber is eventually getting washed somewhere.
Yes.
So you see my dilemma?
I do see your dilemma.
So am I right in thinking that this stuff must just vaporize?
Well, based on what you just said, our roads should be significantly higher, just from the rubber buildup.
Okay. Well, I mean, wouldn't the water wash it off?
Or like you said, it should be accumulating somewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's nowhere that we can see.
So that don't sound right.
I do have a tangent to this that may help.
All right.
So many years ago, when I first went up to the mountains to work, we spent the night just off of the Continental Divide outside of Spruce Pine.
Okay.
This is getting interesting already.
All right.
how this ties into rubber on the road.
Hey, hang in there, everyone. I am.
Yes. So there's this little restaurant just clinging to the side of the cliff off of the parkway,
right
off the Continental Divide. So we have dinner in the restaurant that night. Christy and I do. It's pretty empty. There's another couple in there. And I asked the guy what he does, and his company removes the rubber from tarmacs.
Like at airports?
Yeah. So the rubber has to be removed routinely from the tarmac where the planes are landing because it builds up. And there's a company that does this.
That don't sound right.
That don't sound right.
But
it's
someone's got to do it.
right. So it's building up on the tarmac.
Did you ask them about it? Why they do it? What's going on?
Yeah. And it was so long ago, I don't remember all of this. But that's what his company did.
Fascinating.
So, given that, based on what you just said, it builds up on a tarmac. So why is it not building up on the road?
Well, that's right.
Right. So this is the question.
My only guess is it is building up alongside the road.
Right.
And it's in the grass.
Yeah.
And it's in the dirt.
And in the water.
And you can't see it.
Yep. Because on a racetrack, like you said, like racers don't like a new racetrack.
Right. They want to rubber it in.
Right.
But on the flip side, they don't want to get out of the groove
Right.
because there's a lot of marbles. They call it the marbles. And
Yep.
you lose traction because you're just rolling around on loose
Rubber.
pieces of rubber.
Yeah. Yeah. But they like to have rubber on the track. I mean, they like to lay down rubber on the track. A new track is not good.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But the problem is that when it rains, it washes it all off. So
Right.
it's not there it's not bonded to the pavement.
Well,
It's
see, that's the clue. All right, so like during a rain delay,
Yeah.
you've washed the rubber off the track.
Yeah.
Everybody's sliding around for the first 20 laps after a rain delay, right?
Yeah.
So the rubber went somewhere.
Okay.
So that's our first clue, I think.
Then it must have, like you said, it's got to be in the waterways, but it's got to be microscopic that we can't see it.
Right. Maybe we're now composed more of more rubber than we realize.
Well, we're always talking about microplastics,
Right.
right? Do we need to be worried about micro rubbers?
Everybody's talking about micro rubber. We may be onto something now. Maybe this is a big cover up. Maybe the rubber industry has suppressed, and then once this podcast gets published, our lives will be in danger.
Yeah, no, we definitely don't want to venture into that conspiracy theory type of podcast.
That's right.
I think
That's a different podcast.
There might be another one or two of those already out there.
That's right. That's a whole different podcast. Well, have you ever walked down the side of an interstate?
I can't say that I have for a long amount of time.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
I was looking for cars hitting me, not the road.
Having spent some time on the side of the interstate.
That's true. You have walked a mile or two
Yeah.
during the roadside fine
Yes.
segment of your life.
Right. So there's a lot of Marble-esque type stuff on the side.
All
of the
right.
road.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird texture to the side of a highway.
You know, what I thought about doing is just taking a shot, like a handheld shop vac. Make sure brand new filter,
Right.
completely clean.
Right.
And then go alongside the interstate somewhere. Just
Right.
pull off,
Right.
a safe place,
Yeah.
and just do some vacuuming on the shoulder and in the road. Just do some vacuuming.
Yeah.
And then get off the road,
Right.
go home, and then take the filter out, empty it out, and study the contents.
Yeah.
And how much of it's rubber, how much is it metal shavings from I don't know what, how much of
Right.
it is it dirt and rocks and stone.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Maybe suck up some gold.
Right. Oh, which reminds me. I meant to send y'all a picture this week because there is a gold nugget at the intersection where I stop every morning. I can't tell if it's a gold nugget or if it's foil. And I meant to send y'all the picture because it's not in a spot where I can get it.
Why haven't you gotten it yet?
Because I can't tell if it's worth it.
Oh, you haven't done the risk-reward calculation.
Risk-reward calculation. Because if it is a gold nugget, it'll be one of the largest found.
You definitely need to send that out
I'll
to
send the
the
picture
team.
out. But, yeah, it'd be interesting to just sample. And I wonder if they do sample the roadsides. Like, I wonder if environmentalists do sample the roadsides.
Maybe some research is in order here.
Yeah.
Because think about it. I mean, think again how much rubber
Yeah.
is out there.
Right.
Is being put down.
It's always being shed off your tires. We need somebody to call in who is a environmental scientist
So it's someone with concern about waterways
Right.
and contaminants from roadways.
Maybe we can find somebody. Oh, by the way, I did call and try to get the head of snowmaking operations. I haven't got him yet.
For another
for another
opinion.
podcast, yeah.
Actually, another.
For another episode.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, we'll have to dig around and see if we can get an environmental scientist.
Well, hopefully this gets everyone thinking and wondering.
Yeah. I wonder why we can put a man on the moon. Why can't we develop a tire that doesn't wear out?
The whole man on the moon analogy, huh? Just think if we had never put someone on the moon. What would we say?
What would we say?
It's not like we put someone on the moon.
We sent someone to California. Can't we make a tire that?
That's right.
We navigated a river. Why can't we make a tire that doesn't
Well,
wear
we
out?
used to make wheels without rubber, right?
Steel.
Yeah, and wood. They were.
Yes.
They didn't do so good.
I still have a steel wheel at home at my daddy's house.
For what?
A
What's the
wheelbarrow.
front? Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, front wheel on a wheelbarrow. That's a hard ride there.
Well, fortunately, you're not going to be in the wheelbarrow. Hopefully.
Yeah. That would be a tough ride. So, well, I think we have fully explored. Unless you have some closing thoughts on where you think the rubber goes.
No, again, it's got to me, it's microscopic. It's got to be big chunks, or it actually vaporizes into the air.
Well, like on a train, when you're on a train and you flush, doesn't it just flush down onto the tracks, and they just kind of depend on the heat of the train zipping by on the tracks to kind of vaporize the waste?
I think that's another topic for another podcast.
Yeah, I bet, because I've always wondered.
That don't sound right. You don't do that. No.
You don't think so?
No, they don't do that. What kind of heat? What kind of heat? It's not
From the rails.
You've walked rails before. They're not hot.
No, as the train's going by. So you flush, and it you flush, and it flushes down onto the tracks.
No.
And that's why, because I've always thought you needed to really probably routinely sample those tracks. Due to you don't think that's what they're doing?
No, I don't think that's
the whole blue ice thing.
That's an ecological nightmare.
They
don't do that.
The blue ice falling out of airplanes.
That's not no. That's
I've got to research that now.
there's no way they do that. I've never seen toilet paper on the train tracks.
It burns up.
There's no fire. It's an electric train.
It vaporizes, just like the rubber from the tires. It vaporizes and it's gone.
I think we can myth bust this really quick.
We're going to have the rubber industry and the train association calling us on the next podcast.
Well, Amtrak, maybe someone from Amtrak's listening in, and they're pulling out their hair.
They're like, no, we don't do that. It's crazy. Well, thank you for listening. Again, if you have comments, if you know an environmental scientist or a train engineer, we will need both of those in subsequent episodes to explain some of this.
And if you just have an opinion.
Oh, yeah. That's even better if you just have an opinion.
If you just have an opinion, that's what we're doing.
Right. We'd actually prefer not an expert most of the time.
That's right. That's right. Well, we have thought about having a segment called Call Me a Liar.
Yes.
Where someone would call in and say, Peter and Cecil, y'all are all wet.
Right.
No way.
Yeah.
I think Amtrak's going to call.
Oh, yeah. Amtrak's going to call as soon as we hang
calling
up.
you down.
Yeah, the big train industry is going to call. All right. So I'm Cecil.
Hey, this is Peter. It's cold out there.
That's right. Y'all stay warm. Thanks for listening.
Bye now.